Hi, I am Allie Camilletti, and you are listening to Snack Leadership. I will be talking about everything leadership, broken down into bite-sized pieces. You will hear what different leadership skills look like in organizations and how they can rise teams up or take them down. I help leaders build resilience and improve performance by bringing awareness to opportunity behaviors in my business. Spark your mindset. I provide leadership and sales coaching, as well as team building and guest speaking. My hope is for you to feel inspiration and to create a spark in your mindset. Hi everyone. Today we are talking about voice. Voice is the part of us that communicates who we are, what we want, and why we exist in the world around us. It's an intrinsic tool that allows us to be expressive, be heard, be understood, and be seen. Deena Kamm is an executive voice coach with a career as a singer, songwriter, musician, and voiceover artist spanning over 25 years in her hometown of Los Angeles, California. After leaving LA over a decade ago and moving to Bend, Oregon, she refocused her entertainment experience and dedicated herself to empowering people everywhere to access, embody, and lift their voices, both independently and within their community. Deena's the founder and director of Voice Up, where she works with regular folks, community leaders, and corporate VIPs to develop a strong connection to their physical voice and tap into the power of self-expression through clear, confident communication. Another passion of Deena's is her signature singing event, Public Rock Choir. It is my favorite. She brings people of all walks of life together with an in-house rock band that unifies the room through fun music and the amazing science of sound. Deena's mission is to create a world where everyone has the knowledge, courage, and societal permission to tap back into the unrestrained voices that we're all born with. I met Deena a little over a year ago. A couple of dear friends of ours introduced us, and we went on a walk. As we were walking, I was sharing what I was going through at the time, and Deena just simply said, "You must work with me." And so I did. Deena, I'm so excited to have you on today. Thank you.
Yay! Hi. Yes, thank you for having me. This is so fun.
So I like to start off with what is something you have recently learned about yourself?
It's such a funny thing to start off with. It's just like, hi, tell us the most vulnerable thing ever.
It's how I roll.
I love it. So just get right into it. I recently did a coaching program that was kind of founded in what happened to you in your childhood and reasons why maybe early childhood trauma or just anything, according to this program, everything in your childhood affects your adulthood. And it forced us to look at our childhood traumas or childhood, the words we wrote to ourselves sort of that set us up for the future. And I learned that recently, and it was a mind blowing experience because it really did define my entire career. And that is this one sentence of, um, I will never allow myself to be in a position where I can be rejected. And those words are very ordered very specifically. It's not that I mind being rejected. It's not that I'm afraid of being rejected, but I decided at an early age from some trauma that I had that I would never, ever allow myself to be in a position where I could be rejected. And so subsequently, here I am, many decades later, and I have not. All of my jobs, all of my career moves, what I do for a living, everything is I'm basically running the show almost all the time. And when I found that out, I was like, I was a little embarrassed. I'm like, no wonder I'm such a control freak. So anyway, but it's been really wonderful to know that about myself because now every time I go to do something controlling, my brain rewinds and I go, wait a minute, is this me not allowing myself to be in a position where I can ever be rejected? And then I go, yes, this is exactly what it is. And then it allows me to come at it from a totally different angle. So So it's helped me a lot. So anyway, that's something I learned very recently, like 3 weeks ago.
And I love just the power of being aware and mindful. And
Yes.
you speak to what I work with people on is how do we shift that way of thinking? Because that is what will create the change that will ripple.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really, I even think you have told me this. It's like, did you say tame it to name it to tame it? Is
Yeah.
that you? Yeah, name it to tame it. It's like now I see it coming and I said, oh, that's that thing that I do that I've been doing. Is this the right decision for me? Or am I making the right moves based on this? Or is it based on, what's happening in my true reality right now? So yeah, it's been eye opening. It's been incredible. I've been like, but it's also sort of terrifying, but it's, that's okay. That's growth. That's a terrifying.
Yeah. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing, they
Yes,
say.
yes,
Which
yes,
takes us
yes.
right into what you're gonna be talking about today, and I will say it was my most uncomfortable feeling when I was working with you, and I was so grateful I felt so comfortable with you to be doing the work that we did together, but it wasn't comfortable. And so, when did you first embody this whole concept of voice?
Well, I've been, performing my whole life almost, and then professionally since I was very young. And so I actually really started the embodying it when I was leading my band because I had to. I didn't have a choice. I had to be their voice. I was their front person. I was their literal voice. And so that was sort of a, but that was easier because we were like a family, and it wasn't so, it was, I was designing my own world. I wasn't in someone else's world. So it was very easy to be my authentic voice, my authentic self. And but more recently, a big shift came for me when I have my rock choir, which is basically a place that I designed for people to come and express themselves fully and big and loud, which is what I teach,
Yeah.
um, without any inhibitions and without being heard and without being put on the spot. So it allows regular people who aren't singers, which I don't subscribe to, but besides the point, that's another show. um, to come and get loud. And when I realized that everybody in that room was leaning on me, it really forced me to step up and basically carry them. I mean, I really have to carry not just their voices and the music, but I have to carry them emotionally, and I have to make sure that they are okay, because it is a terrifying thing for most people. Like you said, it's uncomfortable, and most people aren't used to being put into a situation where they're basically screaming rock songs.
I will always remember the first time that I attended. I literally had no idea what was gonna be happening. I just knew that I wanted to go support you, and my friends were like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I do not consider myself a singer, right? And I showed up and I asked my friend, I was like, "Are we gonna sing?" She's like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna sing." And I was really scared, and all I could think of is I'm like, "I can move my lips. They'll never know."
Well, but the truth is, you didn't, did you? You sang.
I screamed. Now I scream, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is what I call my singing therapy. I laugh and I smile the whole time, and it just makes me feel so, so good and
I'm
alive.
so happy. Good. Well, it's because you're built to do it. It's a natural physiological, biological function, and you have to do it. But so yeah, when I'm in that room with a bunch of strangers, almost it's not always strangers because people come. I've got a lot of repeat people, but when it's a bunch of strangers, my leadership skills have to be on point, like right now. And it's not just that I'm singing and I'm a maniac and I'm dancing around and screaming at everybody. It is also that I am paying attention to the room and really, I mean, literally leading people in like, this is what we're going to do next. And this is, just being very clear and giving a lot of creative license and freedom to people so that they don't feel like they have to fit into any box. So that was a probably that's it's probably place where I lead the most, because if I'm not a good leader in that situation, it is not a fun time. And so it has to be fun or people don't want to do it.
That is the truth. So, talk to me about when you have experienced people that really embody this leadership skill of voice.
Well, I mean, I notice it everywhere I go. So, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of always listening, and I listen to people's voices accidentally, of course, because my ear is so in tune to it now. But what happens is you can really see a difference. I mean, when somebody is commanding a room, it is almost always because they have a command over themselves, and they are able to translate that command over themselves and into words and give it to the next person or the people in front of them. So I can have a command over myself and not verbally have a command over myself, or the translation of it. And so it gets lost in translation. And so, when I see good leaders, they're usually very clear about what they're doing. They know who they are. You can tell they know who they are. People might fumble, they might stumble, they might make mistakes, but that's okay. Everybody's human and everybody's allowed to do that and still be able to connect. And so that connection is really key. And the verbal connection in my world is so, so, so critical, because if you think you're connecting, but your voice, let's just make it easy and just say your voice is giving off something that is maybe too much tension, too quiet, too loud, uh, anything where you're struggling. And that's from a diaphragm standpoint, where you're breathing too much, you're struggling with breath, you're gasping, you just sound like you're weak because you physically are, which is a real problem in our society. People are physically weak, their voices are physically weak because nobody's the singer that they're all afraid to say that they are. And so nobody's really ever using their voice to their fullest. So I would say that it's usually people that have no problem talking, have no problem with their voice, and really it translates into a confident sound.
You shared with me that people will stop listening at a certain point based on the sound of your voice. And it is something I think about all the time. And now I fixate on a little bit. But with that being said, who is an example of someone that maybe we would all know that you're like, yeah, that person is like the definition of voice?
I have a couple of that I use all the time. One, my favorite is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is, oh my God, her voice is wow, like it's immaculately beautiful. Everything about it, the tone, the timbre, the support, the intention behind it, the confidence behind it, just everything. It's just she's beautiful. Another one, a great one is I love why am I forgetting his first name? Barack Obama.
Ah.
I mean, he is just so commanding when he talks, and he's so real and genuine. And I mean, I guess there's, because he's a political figure, that's a tough one to say, because there might be people that think he's not real and he's not genuine. But as somebody who loves Barack Obama, when I listen to him, I am just like, wow. I mean, to be that smooth and that rad when you talk, it's like, I mean, he really embodies uh, a great voice, and same with his wife, for that matter, Michelle.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's a lot of public speakers. Like, public speakers are good public speakers. I shouldn't say public speakers. I should say motivational speakers. Good motivational speakers. Like, most of them, their voices are very, very pleasant and very, very inviting. Um, you know, there's some that have trouble and you can hear it, and they're kind of known for their trouble. It's fixable, you guys.
Anything you want to share before we go into talking about your favorite leadership mentor?
Anything I want to share? I would like to tell people that it's really, really common to feel afraid of public speaking, to feel afraid of being heard in a room, to feel like your voice doesn't, I don't want to say doesn't matter, because I don't think people consciously think that. I think that's a more of a subconscious thing that goes on, but that your voice isn't important in a conversation. And it's so common, and there's a very, very deep seated reason for that. And in one sentence, I'll just say it's a societal factor that we are born into this society that kind of bashes down our voices from birth. And if that doesn't ring true to you, think about children are seen or not heard. Use your inside voice. You're too loud. The baby's crying. Is the baby crying or is the baby singing? Because I always like to say babies are singing. um, there's a lot of negativity that surrounds our voices in childhood, and then it carries into adulthood. And so a lot of us are with spouses that say, oh, you're too loud, you're yelling. And yeah, I mean, what I want to say to that is that the voice physically is loud. It is a magnificent instrument that is built so perfectly. It's astounding. And when it's being used properly, it is loud. So if you are afraid of being loud and afraid of being heard, I just want you to know that's really common, and it's okay. Either direction. Just know that it doesn't. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not a strong, confident person. Any of that. There's none of that. It's just that it's a very um, deeply seated problem in our society.
It
So
is. I think about it a lot, and I think about your words. I was in the airport recently with Chella, and she was singing Scooby Doo, and it was late at night. It was a late flight, and I knew she was kind of turning into a little bit of that crazy that happens when they're getting overly tired. And this woman kind of kept looking at me, and I was wondering. I'm like, I'm wondering if she wants me to tell Chella to be quiet, but that's not going to happen because I know better. And Chella just kept on singing Scooby Doo, and I was just smiling, happy, and
good.
thinking, yeah, I'm not pushing her voice down because that's so important. And that really resonates with me.
And really, to take it back to leadership, what that ends up becoming in Chella's teenage and adult years is somebody who is not afraid to stand up and communicate ideas. And that is ultimately what a leader does. And if you have that confidence about you, it really takes you far, and it makes you more easy to receive, because
Yeah,
people don't have any problem with somebody who is feeling very genuine and focused. It's like,
totally.
oh, okay, I've got that. Like, people want that. People want to follow that person. So
Yeah.
good for Chella. Good for Chella.
Leadership mentor. Who's your favorite?
Gosh, I thought a lot about this, and I sadly don't have anybody that everybody knows, but I'm happy to say that I think it's my mom. Oh my gosh, I got a little, I
Mm,
got a little, I got a little emotional when I said that. My mom, I would think that she does not think of herself as a leader, but she's always been that person where it's like, if there's five people in the room and everybody's struggling, she's like, enough of this. Let's just do this. This is what we're doing. And I kind of grew up with her just kind of basically bossing people around a lot, and very confidently. And I don't think she thinks of herself as a confident person, but or maybe she does, but she is absolutely a powerhouse. And she does it in a very likable, subtle way, which is not something I picked up from her, unfortunately for me. But she's friendly, she's gentle, she's easygoing, but she's also like somebody that if there's a need, she'll step up and do it right now. She doesn't think twice. She doesn't care if she doesn't know how to do it. And because I grew up in that and we're very close, I realized like she is my leadership mentor.
mm, I love that. I love that. How about a quote?
So I have a good quote for you. I don't know that it really relates to voice, but my favorite quote that I live by, and I kind of just touched on it a little bit, is, and I live by it because I have to continually remind myself to not do this. And it's something to the effect of, it's an African proverb, and it's, don't remove a fly from a friend's forehead with a hatchet.
That's awesome.
And one of the downsides of being a very vocal, very big, loud person is that I'm frequently offending people because I just blah, 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 all day long. You know, I don't have any problem saying everything that pops into my head, and then I have to unwind and go, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant," or like, "I'm sorry, I came across so abrasive," or yeah.
One of the things I love most about you, Dina,
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely.
I promise I will try to not swat that fly with a hatchet.
How about your favorite snack?
Oh gosh, from the time I was little, it's the craziest combination. I like regular pretzels, like just the roll gold regular mini pretzels and regular Philadelphia cream cheese.
Mm.
Pretzels and cream cheese, like a dip, only it's cream cheese, the hard brick one, not the I'll take the whipped one too.
How's the cream cheese not break the pretzel?
That's a great question, Allie. I'm glad you asked that. And that is why you have to use the little mini ones because you got to kind of like you got to get a good grip on the pretzel and then you just use one little hoop.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
All
that was
right.
a really good question.
Of course, I will have all of your information in the show notes so that they can follow you through social media and look you up on your website. Is there anything else you wanna offer?
Well, if you go to the link that I'm gonna give you to put in this post, I am gonna offer people a little free breathing exercise that will help support the diaphragm and vocal connection. So it'll help you if you have trouble with gasping for breath when you're talking or you're doing you find yourself doing that a lot. This is a great first step into just strengthening your diaphragm. We all struggle from atrophied diaphragms because of our societal problem of loving everything to be quiet. So it'll be a great intro into your breathing and connecting it to your voice. And I'll also show you in there how to connect it to your voice. So I would love to offer that to your listeners, watchers, podcasters.
Thank you, Dina. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for your knowledge, your time, and your share.
Thanks, Allie. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Snack Leadership. I hope you felt inspiration, motivation, and felt your mindset spark. Snack Leadership is recorded and produced by myself, Ali Camilletti, and music by Shireen Amini.